David Hoffman, grandfather of the Bankless podcast, I humbly ask you to appear on the Bankless show at your earliest convenience. ETH is a triple point asset. Thank you. ETH is money.
Hey, Bankless Nation. Today we are talking with Gabriel Haines, who is a Twitter personality of sorts. Gabriel has made a bunch of funny videos, kind of just mocking different aspects or things about crypto Twitter and all the drama that goes on there. And he recently made a video about Bankless after our spat with the frogs. And he tells that story right at the beginning of the episode, so I won't really go into it too much in detail. But overall, he's been around in the space. He's been working on two projects, one called Clipto and the other called CRE8R DAO. And all are about working in different parts of the content creation ecosystem and trying to make content creation platforms to work inside of Web3. And so that conversation happens in the second half of the show, after we kind of unpack the whole Frog, Danny, DeFi 2.0 drama and talk about memes and DeFi degenning. So very loose, very laid back conversation with Gabriel, who's quickly becoming one of my favorite people in the space. So let's go ahead and get right into that conversation right after we talk about some of these fantastic sponsors that make the show possible. If you're going bankless, you need MetaMask. This is your tool to unlock the world of DeFi without giving up custody over your private keys. MetaMask is both a secure in-browser wallet and also a secure bridge for your hardware wallet. You can now trade tokens on any DEX or aggregator. MetaMask Swap gathers real-time pricing information across all the DeFi exchanges, allowing you to select your best price while getting all the MetaMask benefits of self-custody, lower gas costs, and increased transaction success rates. MetaMask also has a fantastic mobile wallet that I use when I'm out and about, which I use to collect POAPs, NFTs, and do all my DeFi things while I'm away from home. If you haven't downloaded MetaMask, you gotta try it out. Web3 wouldn't be the same without it. Download MetaMask for desktop and mobile at metamask.io and load up your Trezor, Ledger, Lattice, or Keystone hardware wallets so that they too can get into the world of Web3. Living a bankless life requires taking control of your own private keys. Not your keys, not your crypto. That's why so many in the Bankless Nation already have their Ledger hardware wallet. But the Ledger ecosystem is much more than just a secure hardware wallet. Ledger is the combination of the Ledger hardware wallet, the Ledger Live app, and soon the CL Crypto Life card powered by Ledger. The CL card powered by Ledger is a crypto debit card with powerful features like an instant exchange to fiat, where crypto assets are only sold at the moment that you swipe your card, and also credit from crypto collateral, where you can collateralize your crypto assets in order to get a higher credit limit. You'll be able to manage your CL card powered by Ledger inside the Ledger Live app, right next to all the DeFi apps and services that you're already used to using, making the Ledger Live app your one-stop shop for all of your financial needs. Go to ledger.com, grab a Ledger, and download Ledger Live to get all of your DeFi applications all in one place. So, you've got some money and you want to spend.
Me shopping now, bro.
When you should be saving.
You'll never buy a house at this rate.
But what if you could spend and save at the same time? For the enlightened kind with inquiring minds, a new world awaits. Set yourself free with completely flexible, self-repaying loan technology. Supported on desktop and mobile, seize the power of ALCHEMIX, allowing you to spend and save at the same time. Leverage your wealth without the risk of liquidation. Take out a loan that repays itself.
Yes! Yes, 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 yes!
What was once inconceivable is now within your grasp.
Are you winning, son?
What's up, Gabriel? How's it going?
Hello, David. Thanks for having me on.
Is it Gabriel or can I go with Gabe?
Well, whatever you prefer. I introduce myself as Gabriel. It's kind of like a Hebrew pronunciation.
Okay.
But
a biblical pronunciation?
Yeah. I'm Jewish. I grew up Orthodox, actually. I went to yeshiva and all this stuff up until I was 20. So pretty recent, my whole life.
So the story about how you came onto the show today is a little bit interesting. Can you tell that story for the listeners?
So you got into a little kerfuffle with somebody who, do you know them now?
Yeah, I definitely know them now. Yes. At the time, did you know them?
I did know them. But basically, Danny, who is the founder of Abracadabra, Ice, Wonderland, basically, I think called out Bankless for being like a VC shill platform, something along those lines. And then you're like, who are you? And this is not the way to ask to appear on the show. So I thought it would be funny to come up with what is the proper etiquette? What is the way to ask? So I think that paying homage to the Bankless core principles and philosophies was the most appropriate way. And, I just got to show respect by bowing and, reciting the mantras. So here we are.
Yeah, so you made a quick video that was you just like doing a repeated prayer bow, saying some of our memes like ETH is a triple point asset, decentralization is why we're here, like stuff like that. And in the midst of just a very annoying battle with the frogs, I thought this is the perfect amount of laughter that I need in my life. And you've done this, you've made these quick like crypto Twitter hit videos quite a lot recently, over the last like 3 or 4 months. What's the motivation to make these? Like, cause it's a little bit of like stand-up sketch comedy. For those that don't know, like this is not the first time that you've made a quick, 30-second, 1-minute video, commentating on some shenanigans about crypto Twitter. Where's the motivation come to do some of this stuff?
There's not a lot of funny, I don't know, there's not a lot of this like satirical type of comedic type of very crypto native type of jokes, and I feel like bringing that out and like kind of trying to flesh out that medium, I think is quite funny, it's quite valuable. And just, because I spend a lot of time on crypto Twitter, I obviously understand the memes and understand the inside jokes very well. And being able to, being part of the community, I'm able to, also make fun of the community and kind of embody a lot of the traits the community, appear to have. So that's it.
Wait, for the listeners, tell us a few other of your quick sketches.
Quick sketches.
Or skits,
one of the popular
skits,
ones. They're a minute long, by the way, because that's how long Twitter lets you record. Right. I mean, that's the only reason. I did one with the Paraswap airdrop where people were complaining, I was excluded from the airdrop, even though I was like an actual user, and so I was kind of like putting this to extreme, like, I use 200 wallets on your website. Like, I deserve at least 100K per wallet, whatever it is. Like, obviously it's ridiculous. So that was one. Another one, I called out Kobe, who was recently on episode 100. I was listening to earlier today. Great conversation. But Kobe changed his name. So I kind of called him out for being a blue checkmark Citadel overlord. Like, you used to be a man of the people, but now you fly private and have massive bags, whatever, right? So beefing with people on Twitter also is always fun, just like poking fun at whatever their personalities are, whatever traits they're exhibiting.
That's funny because that's kind of similar to the beef that spawned on Twitter between like us and Danny, where Danny called us like a VC shill platform, which is like news to me because, we let VCs on our show, like people like Chris Dixon, but that's because they have really, really good thoughts. And I'm putting words in Danny's mouth. My critique was that Danny was just using like us as like a free punching bag because popular crypto show, popular on Twitter, like lots of surface area, and like he's become this like super duper like populist type leader, and he's really, really like leaned into it. My interpretation was that he just like picked Bankless as his like target of the week just to like drum up and rally up support of the Green Frog Army. Is that your interpretation as well?
No, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting perspective. Like, I think that. Well, why haven't you had him on? I mean, I assume
It's because I didn't know who he was.
It's okay. It's not like you're forced to. I mean, but obviously, Spell is a big project. I mean, I know, I recognize you didn't know exactly who founded it, but you knew about Abracadabra, I assume,
Yes,
right? I mean, it's a massive DeFi protocol. The guy seems to be very charismatic. So, I mean, I assume you would have him on in the right context. Like, if you're like, oh, this guy looks interesting, and you just didn't come across him, whatever, that's completely fine. I don't know why he was doing that. I mean, it is what it is. But I do think, and this is not a criticism, it's an observation. I do think that Bankless does have a more buttoned up type of approach, right? You do come from, and I think you would say this yourself, like you come from like a fundamental, as an investor, even like we come with fundamental analysis, which is a more conservative type of investment style, which, you equate with like Warren Buffett, these like wearing a suit, right? So I think he's commenting on that aspect, like as opposed to something like Up Only, which definitely is not that. It's something completely different and is more meme driven, more narrative driven, stuff like that. And he himself, is not, he's definitely more aligned with the Up Only type of vision than fundamental. He understands that there's something very powerful about memes, as do you, but he's really tapped into that, right? He himself is the frog is the meme, right? He is the meme. So I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah, I agree with that. And there are different like velocities of memes, I think. And I think like at Bankless, this whole like buttoned up like image or brand that we have is like, because we enjoy our slower moving memes where there are some faster moving memes that like are the quick hits on Twitter. And this kind of relates to also the projects that people invest in, where Danny's projects are relatively newer. And they move a lot more quicker than some of the projects that me and Ryan are used to. Like me and Ryan were in crypto before DeFi was a thing. And like the first DeFi protocol, MakerDAO, that like spawned the whole concept of DeFi, is the slowest, most like boomer type protocol that exists. And that's what we got. How we came into the world of DeFi. And the world of crypto and DeFi has only accelerated since then. It's only gotten faster and faster and faster. And so a lot of these newer protocols, which like, especially after some of the basic primitives like Maker, Compound, Aave, Uniswap get built out and start to themselves slow down, there's like this insatiable desire for like degenning that I think Danny has really answered for. And that's why I think you are calling it more aligned with like the Up Only crowd, just because like, things only need to get more and more degen to answer to like the dopamine hits that people want. And Bankless is less about that, although like we'll cover that even though we haven't yet. But we still want to like ground people in sort of some sort of like long-term outlook, long-term like ethos or vision for why we're all here in the space. And I think those differences create some sort of friction, even though I don't really think it's necessary. That like there doesn't need to be. There's not any like values misalignment. It's just like I think that Bankless tries to look 10 plus years into the future, where some parts of DeFi just is only looking a couple months into the future. How does that all of that interpretation land with you?
Yeah, I mean it's just I just think you have a different audience, and you're coming from a different place. Mm-hmm. Like you said, like when you like I think Bankless after what Bitcoin did was like the first crypto podcast that I was listening to, I guess 2 years ago now. And at that time, crypto was much different. It was much different. And like you have a crypto punk hanging on your wall, right? Like back then, that wasn't a status symbol. That was just like garbage. Like it was like nobody gives a shit about it, right? Like so stuff has really changed, and I think that the way that you guys chose to approach it
was kind of connecting, like ETH is a triple point asset. That statement, that ideology, like that philosophy is trying to root ETH, like ETH asset into like a traditional financial framework, which Abracadabra does not, that's not what they're doing. It's just a different meme completely. It's just completely different. So yeah.
Do you agree that like if Abracadabra is like less than a year old, if I'm remembering correctly, but like don't you think that in order for it to go from like 1 year old to like 5 years old, it needs to actually start to root itself in like traditional buttoned up framework? Because I think like the longer something that exists, the longer it develops and expands, the more kind of like polished and professional it needs to be in order to scale out to the whole entire world. And so like I think if Danny's projects need to stand the test of time, they're going to also need to stop answering to like degen behavior and start to be more stable and foundational. And so I think it's like a question of just like where is the ecosystem, the relevant ecosystem, whether it's like the DeFi 2.0 ecosystem or like boomer DeFi. It's more of a question of just like how long it's been around.
I don't know. You might be right, but I don't think that has to be the case, because crypto brings about its own culture, its own unique, new, fresh memes, bro. Like you don't need to take crypto to old memes in order to move forward necessarily. Maybe you do. And you need to have, whatever. You need to have like a thesis for all these different assets in order for them to really thrive. But maybe you don't. And maybe there is a culture of like a degen culture, which does exist. And maybe this culture can continue to develop. And maybe it itself, as it gets older, will become more conservative. The culture of being a degen, and maybe it will evolve into more like, but I do think it is new. So you don't need to retrofit your ideas. I think that, people say like Fiscantes, like he says like post-value society. Now, whatever that means, I don't necessarily know, but it does mean that there was something and now we have a new thing. There is a change here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and simultaneously, while I think in order for like DeFi protocols to stand the test of time, they need to become more just like mature and less memey and more foundational. Simultaneously, on the other side of things, what crypto is doing in the first place is making like traditional finance become more like crypto. So it's like a meeting in the middle, right? Like traditional finance needs to take off the goddamn tie, because they need to understand why Dogecoin is what it is and why it works the way that it works. Because if you can understand why Dogecoin works, all of a sudden Bitcoin becomes obvious. Like traditional finance think that Bitcoin is what Bitcoiners think Dogecoin is. All right. And then like it keeps on going down the line. Like, well, there's the Dogecoiners who just think there's some other stupid meme, like, I don't know, SHIB that's even more memey and less rooted in real life. And at some point there, like the most optimal place to be is some balance between the actual traditional TradFi boomers who wear ties and like the DeFi 2.0 degens. Like there's something around that part of the spectrum where that is where you can capture the most amount of attention. And I think that's what we're going for at Bankless.
It could be. I mean, this is the thing, like, when you bring up Doge in relation to Bitcoin, I think that it goes even farther than that. It's Doge in relation to the US dollar. The US dollar is a meme, right? Can a traditional, someone in TradFi grasp that concept and embrace that concept? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible, because the whole industry is based around this thing. Mm-hmm. Like, and the whole identity of the industry is based around the greenback, right? Is it possible for the, people to understand? That's what I think degen culture is. It's already like a next level, like kind of like, it could be even nihilistic at a point, like nothing matters.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. And yeah, it probably will be a pendulum. Like, you have these swings, you have, and you have, MakerDAO, and you have also, really super degen stuff. I mean, it's all spectrum.
Don't you think DeFi or degening can go like too far though? I feel like at some point, the whole building out the degen side of DeFi is kind of like a race to the bottom. Because like you're just trying to make like the quicker, the applications and the tokens have like quicker and quicker Ponzi scheme like cycles, right? It's just like, all right, we built this new thing. It's a token that can pump, except this pump is only going to last a month. And like, oh, we built out this new thing and it's got a new token, but this one is only going to last like 2 weeks. Like I kind of think like if you optimize for the degen side of the spectrum, you're optimizing for just short-termerism.
I don't know if that's true. I don't know if that's true, because for sure there is that element, and there is a lot of greed and people like just trying to make a quick buck. But I think that on the margin there is a lot of innovation. Like you would see something like like Olympus, to be super degen, right? Oh wow, we have 20,000% APY, whatever. And whatever you think about the project, that has definitely broke new ground. And you could easily have viewed that as just degen race to the bottom, but when in fact, no, actually there is something new here.
Mm-hmm. Where do you fall on this spectrum?
I don't know. I definitely grew up in a framework of price to sale ratio, price to earnings ratio. And the more time I spend in crypto, the more I go to the other side. And I think that my videos also are an embodiment or a celebration, I don't know what exactly, of that culture and of that mentality.
An expression.
An expression, yeah, that's better. Yeah, so I do feel part of a crypto culture, whatever that means. And I do think that it is new, and we have our own ideas and our own memes, and we have common beliefs. Everyone in crypto has common beliefs. Like Bitcoin was started, the commission, the prime minister is bailing out the banks, whatever it was. That is a core belief of crypto, right? Because, that's a genesis. And I think that every single person in crypto will say institutions are failing, they're not doing well. And we have a lack of trust in it. And we all fit into that narrative, and it's just different, and it changes, right? It changes all the time, it evolves all the time, just like the CryptoPunk. Right now, it's a huge part of the culture. 3 years ago, it wasn't. I mean, maybe to a few people, but not as now, right? So it changes.
What do you think about the frogs? Because the frogs exist in crypto, but also outside of crypto. Like they were a part of the 2016 election of Donald Trump, while simultaneously also a part of the fight for keeping Hong Kong free from China oppression. Like the green frog is a symbol of both the alt-right, but also the freedom for Hong Kong, and it goes on from there. And it's also now it's very much also been a part of like certain crypto things, like Chainlink got blessed by the green frogs, and then Arbitrum has gotten blessed by the green frogs, and now all of Danny's projects have gotten blessed by the green frogs. What do you think of the frogs? What are the frogs? How do you define what the frogs are? What is it?
I don't know. It's just it's something it's a message, it's a symbol that people resonate with. And that's kind of a broad answer, but I don't really know. And it has to do with the particular context, mm-hmm. right? It's just because alt-right had used this symbol, I don't think that matters so much. It's more what you are using this to mean, right? And to me, for whatever reason, the frogs within crypto right now, it's like, I think of the frog that has a blanket over his head. He's cozy, right? Or the frog that's kicking his legs under the blanket, cozy. That's the meme within crypto. I don't know, cozy. I don't know this idea, and I like that idea. I like cozy. We all want to be cozy. We all want to. I see a blanket right behind you, right? So I don't know. I don't know how to answer that. I think the frogs is a meme that actually predates me. It's much older than my experience in memes, and it has to do with 4chan, a lot of it, and cultures actually that I wasn't necessarily involved with.
What's your niche in crypto? What do you like to pay attention to?
Anything that can get me a 100x, I like to pay attention to. No, I don't know. I'm a creator, so I make videos. I used to do a lot of interviews. So that the niche of being a content creator is very important to me and something I spend a lot of time on. So to that effect, I helped start CRE8R DAO, which is a content creation DAO, which I think is very cool. It's very unique within the DAO space, the crypto space. And also I'm working on Clipto, which is a crypto cameo type app, which also is in the creator niche. Obviously, creators make the videos, stuff like that. So that is what I specialize in. I don't know. That's what I think a lot about.
Tell me more about CRE8R DAO. What's the goals of CRE8R DAO?
Yeah, so CRE8R DAO, I was making these interviews and doing these tutorial videos, and people were reaching out to me and saying, "Hey, we'd be happy to sponsor you if you did a review of one of our our platform, whatever it is." And it is a bit of there is a bit of friction between negotiating a price, what kind of content do you want, what content can you offer, all of that type of stuff. And I felt like if there was a group of people that could actually offer a complete package, and protocols wouldn't have to think so hard about what particular piece of content they would want to create, that could be quite valuable for them. So basically it's to enable creators to access these opportunities, and also for apps to get in touch with content creators who are crypto native and understand the space and spend a lot of time in the space. So the goal is to have a way to earn for creating content within crypto, and just to create good content.
So it's like a decentralized media business.
Yeah, it's like a marketing agency.
Yeah,
a DAO marketing agency.
Marketing. Yeah, right. How has that been going? Have you actually been able to connect capital to creators in this bottom-up decentralized fashion?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're close to $1 million distributed since we started, which we started at the beginning of the year, I guess I don't remember exactly, March, April, but yeah, almost $1 million. It might be a little bit less, 800,000 or 900. I don't know the exact number, but it is close to that. And that is money that was paid directly from protocols to the DAO, and is then distributed to the creators. So it's not like some inflationary token. It's actually cash.
Right. So the DAO is just like trying to traffic control cash between buyers and contributors. Yeah, is that about right?
Yeah, I mean, there's one of the biggest challenges. How do you assign value to the different creators? Like, how can you actually?
Right. I was gonna ask that next.
You guys do this in the Bankless DAO. I think you're one of the biggest Coordinape users, actually. But when we came up with when I was thinking about the DAO, I thought that Coordinape. Basically, in the initial design of the DAO, I included Coordinape because that value distribution is so important. And I was, along with Caesar, who also started the DAO, and a few others as well, but Caesar and I were part of Yearn. We were early Yearn contributors, YFI contributors. And YFI was facing this problem where they had a committee of, I think it was Trake and Banteg, who would basically just go through all the contributions, and they would just be like, oh, you get 5,000, you get 1,000, whatever it is. And people who were contributing felt neglected or felt it was unfair. So actually, Yearn came up with Coordinape, and so Coordinape I thought could be, it can be utilized in all sorts of different ways, like for this marketing organization. I mean, it could also be for just like an art collective. If people want to commission art, you have a bunch of artists who get together, make art, and they distribute it between themselves. I mean, just a random idea. But so I thought Coordinape was really cool. So we put it into the structure of the DAO, and that's how we do the distribution. So basically, everyone votes on who provided value in in give tokens, and then you do an average of that, and then that's how you distribute the funds, basically from the clients.
And how many with Creator DAO? How many people are like on average in a payout? Like, is it like 4 people that participated in a certain product or release or creation, or is it like 40?
Yeah, it's closer to 40. I would say it's like 20 to 30.
And then how much like auto organization or self organization is part of this, or is there actually like, are you and a few other people actually trying to like do a lot of the actual top down coordination?
I actually haven't been super involved in the past few months. I had a baby.
Oh, congrats.
Thank you. Almost 3 months ago, 2.5 months ago. So I've been pretty busy on that end. And most of my time actually has been on Clipto. But there are people who do spend time doing a lot of the organization, Dunks, B, Fugu. Those are some of the members that are doing a lot of like the project manager like type role. And that was actually something that we uncovered along the way, that you need a project manager, because in the initial idea, like it would just be like whoever contributed, like we'll do the distribution. But if there's no project manager, and the project manager doesn't like have a fixed salary or percentage of the distribution, then it's very hard to make sure that the work actually gets done, and that there's actually someone communicating with the client and someone actually taking that responsibility. So there is, I mean, it's I don't know if it's, I guess it's top down, but it's whoever wants can be a project manager, whoever wants to take on that role.
Right, and that project manager, could they in theory also become like sales, whereas like they also like reach out to some squad and some team or protocol or whatever, and just say, hey, like I will be the coordinator between you guys and Content Creator DAO or Creator DAO. So anyone can plug themselves in. Yeah,
and I mean, I don't think that it's ever been like that exact scenario, but yeah, I think a salesperson, anyone could be a sales. I mean, if you close a sale, then if you like onboard a client, then you get 10% of the sale, something like that. That was also something that we wanted to make fixed. At the beginning, I was doing a lot of the sales calls, and I realized that I wasn't getting a huge amount of the funds at the end of the period. And for me personally, like I don't really mind, like whatever, but I could see that if you're not being fairly rewarded, you're not going to be motivated to continue to do these things, right? So you have to have like a fixed percentage of the sale, which I think it's like 10%, like I said. But yeah, basically anyone can do it, and just onboard clients to the DAO.
What's the DAO's best skill? What's the DAO really, really good at producing? Like what's your guys' best product to be able to create?
It's focused only on content. So as the DAO has matured and gotten more people have joined, we've gotten some very talented content creators to join, like musical artists that are like top level, graphics. Like we had some amazing graphic design, someone who worked at Netflix, I believe, recently, like really good quality, high quality content creators. So we don't focus on like we don't do like web design or like UX, UI. Like that's not, like we could, but that's not really what we do. It's like focusing really on the content. And I mean, the reason for that is because when we started, I mean, it was me, Caesar, like we were content creators, right? That's what we do. We're not, we don't make a web flow necessarily. What I want to focus on is give people who are creative the opportunity to actually create in the space and be awarded for that.
And so what kind of content? Are we talking about like 2 to 5 minute explainer videos, or are we talking about more like long form articles or podcasts or video interviews? What kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's a mix of everything. So the way we have it set up is basically we use a content pyramid structure, and this can allow it gives kind of a base for the kind of content the client can expect. But so we do a long form interview usually, like we're having right now. And then from this interview, you can extract lots of different content. So you can make a summary of this conversation. That's a piece of content. You can take clips from this conversation, and that's a piece of content. You can write an article, describing some of the points, whatever it is. You can take quotes. So from this one piece of content, you're able to make maybe 20 original unique pieces of content. Plus, aside from the content pyramid, we also just have like whatever someone wants to do. So if it's like a tutorial of the app, like a walkthrough of the app, an explainer video of the app, or a graphic, like a announcement GIF, or whatever it may be. So it's very intrinsically motivated. It's what you want to contribute, whatever. And we, like I said, there's a musical artist who makes like 30-second songs. Mm-hmm. So it's really whatever you want to contribute is what you can do.
How at Bankless, how could we best utilize the DAO in your opinion?
So actually, it's interesting because when I was a young buck, I mean, I guess like a year and a half ago, I was actually doing a lot of this stuff for you guys. Like I did this a few times. I would listen to the show, mm-hmm. and I would like make a clip of the episode, whatever, like a 1-minute clip, and put subtitles and stuff and publish it. So like I think that at the time you weren't doing that, but I think now you are. Mm-hmm. And I think that is an improvement. I mean, obviously you know what you're doing. You've grown a tremendous amount since then. But I don't necessarily know, because you have the Bankless DAO, like it kind of serves a very similar role mm-hmm. to what Creator DAO provides, because the Bankless DAO also is basically provides support content for the show, right? So you have people, correct me if I'm wrong, people that want to write an article, they write an article, right? They make clips, they come up with, similar things, graphics, yep. All this kind of stuff. And you use, it's like almost, it's a very similar structure, mm-hmm. just it's very personal to your brand.
Right. Totally. Polygon is Ethereum's largest and most vibrant scaling solution to date. With millions of monthly users and all of the biggest DeFi apps, the Polygon ecosystem has turned into a blossoming metropolis of DeFi activity. Transactions on Polygon are quick and cheap, allowing users the freedom to achieve their DeFi goals, all while being economically anchored to Ethereum. But Polygon isn't just the proof-of-stake sidechain. The Polygon team is building a suite of scaling solutions, including Polygon Hermes, Maiden, Nightfall, and Zero, all with different design choices in order to be optimized for all possible crypto use cases. If you're a developer who wants to build on the Polygon ecosystem, go to the link in the show notes to check out their fantastic documentation. And if you're a user who just wants to experience fast and cheap DeFi, you can bridge over your ETH or other tokens and start playing around with any of the thousands of applications that are available on Polygon. The Layer 2 era is upon us. Ethereum's Layer 2 ecosystem is growing every day, and we need L2 bridges to be fast and efficient in order to live a Layer 2 life. Across is the fastest and cheapest and most secure cross-chain bridge. With Across, you don't have to worry about the long wait times or high fees to get your assets back to the Layer 1. Assets are bridged and available for use almost instantaneously. Across's bridges are powered by UMA's optimistic Oracle to securely transfer tokens from Layer 2 back to Ethereum. Across is critical ecosystem infrastructure, and ownership is being handed over to the community. You can be a part of this story of Across by joining the Discord and becoming a co-founder and helping to design the fair launch of Across. If you want to bridge your assets quickly and securely, go go to across.to to bridge your assets between ETH, Optimism, Arbitrum, or Boba networks. Bankless is proud to be sponsored by Uniswap. Uniswap is a new paradigm in asset exchange infrastructure. Instead of a cumbersome order book system where trades are matched with other humans, Uniswap is an autonomous piece of software on Ethereum that lets you trade any token at the current market price. No human counterparties or centralized intermediaries, just autonomous code on Ethereum. Input the token you want to sell and receive the token you want to buy. The Uniswap Grants program is accepting applications for grants. Do you have something of value that you think you want to contribute to the Uniswap ecosystem? No matter how big or small your idea is, you can apply for a unique grant at uniswapgrants.org and help steer Uniswap in the direction that you think it should go. Thank you, Uniswap, for sponsoring Bankless. Let's go into the other DAO. What was the other DAO? CryptDAO?
Clipto.
Clipto.
Yeah,
Clipto. What's Clipto?
Clipto. So I was making these Twitter videos,
Right.
as you mentioned, and people were asking me to be on Cameo, to sign up. So I applied to be on Cameo, but
For the listeners who don't know what Cameo is, what's Cameo?
it's like you have like celebrities or influencers, and they'll make personalized content for you. So if you've ever seen a Real Housewife be like, "Oh, happy birthday, Justine," like that was from Cameo, right? Okay, so and on more specifically for crypto, Hard Rock Nick has become this massive crypto meme, and he's on. So all of those videos where you see him say the devs, whatever he says, yelling about whatever it is, that's all from Cameo as well. So people were asking me to get on Cameo. They wanted to commission some personalized videos. So I signed up for Cameo, but I didn't get a response. Like they never answered me. So that's kind of the classic crypto story. You get rejected from Web 2, so you gotta go to Web 3, right? So I put out a plea to the devs. I put out the idea. I'm like, listen, I think we should make a crypto Cameo. It would be really cool to make payment for the stuff on chain instead of using credit card. You could receive the content as an NFT, which is much better than just like a video file. So we're actually, and this video went out on December 14th. So that was almost 1 month ago. And since then, we've got together pretty good group of people, maybe 10, 15 people that are core team, whatever that means, the people that are actually spending time, actually moving this forward. And that includes developers, design, like UX, UI, creator DAOs on board, of course, and just a bunch of, Muni helped me a little bit, Coin Alchemist helped me a little, just like a bunch of people. Dave White from Paradigm, he helped out with a lot. He got a lot of the devs involved, yeah. So we were able to put together this app. Basically, it's technically live. Like we're testing it right now. It's not 100% finished. It's like 60-70% done, but it is deployed on Polygon. It technically does work, but like I said, like there's just a lot of bugs. We need to keep working on that. But this was all done in less than a month. I put together kind of an event in New York last week, I guess exactly a week ago, kind of just talking about what I'm saying here and explaining the vision, explaining the project. So yeah, that's where we're standing today. We have a bunch of community members who helped test the app yesterday. We got tons of bugs that we need to fix. And just every day I'm just trying to push this along, bring energy to the project. I wrote up a short vision statement for what I think the project could become. But yeah, that's Clipto.
So Clipto is just Cameo, but Web3. Is that a fair TLDR?
Yeah. And then so at the beginning it's very simple, like just payment on chain and receiving an NFT. But I think that it could be much broader. Like you could have some sort of engage to earn type of token model where the people that are buying on the users because the users are actually part of the creation process, right? They have to pick a good person to deliver the lines, and they actually have to pick the lines. So if they're part of the creation as well, and actually honoring that, like in the vein of DeFi and Web3, like really paying those users for using the platform, I think is where this could really become much bigger than Cameo. Like the DAO, for example, like the DAO could have like an awards show every month, like awarding the funniest or the most interesting Cliptos, right? And it's very valuable for Clipto to have these viral videos come out, because that's how people use the platform, obviously, and we want to pay for that, right? So you can kind of imagine that there would be some sort of flywheel effect, right? Which I think could be really cool. And also, we can leverage Web3 in ways that Cameo can't. So if, for example, we could do a party bid for a very high profile type Cameo. So imagine Elon Musk, right? We got 300 ETH in a party bid for Elon Musk to say some ridiculous, I don't even know what he was saying, ETH to the moon, whatever it is. Like, I think it would be pretty funny. Like, I could definitely see him, just for the lulz, being like, okay, this $1 million 1 minute clip, like, why not? You know what I mean? So I think it could get pretty big in that way, that massive coordination that you can't get in Web 2, in Web 3, like, you can do this type of stuff.
Wait, so like, you can put up bounties? So like, hey, there's a 300 ETH bounty for this celebrity to make this statement in this sort of clip. And this celebrity doesn't have to have signed up for the platform. They would just probably hear about how there's like this $1 million bounty that's available to them, and then they can go check out the to-dos and check it out and then see if they are into completing that bounty or not. And if they do, then the money gets sent to them.
Yeah, that is definitely something that we want to do. There are some technical challenges with the decentralization of that particular bounty.
There's got to be escrow accounts and stuff like this, huh?
Exactly. The escrow isn't the problem. It's just that you don't know what Elon Musk's wallet address is going into it. So it would have to be tied to his like Twitter or something like that. But in a perfect world, I think that is 100% what we want to do. And even I think that even if it is not, that particular feature is not decentralized, it is okay. Maybe for not like $1 million, like that's too much. But if there is a creator that you are like, man, I really want to pay this guy $1,000 to do X, Y, and Z, and that is not, then that part of it not being decentralized is okay, because that is not like the primary way of doing the transaction. The primary way is you come to the platform and you do the whole thing trustlessly, right? You put it into the smart contract. Once it's delivered to the creator, right? Because the bounty would only be like a one-time thing. Once a creator signed up, there's no more bounty, right? It's just like you're just using the platform normally. We could just do it like that. So I don't know. It's still a work in progress for sure. I would like everything to be trustless. I would like everything to be on chain 100%. I want it to be deployed on every chain, anywhere where users want to like interact with it. But yeah, we're still pretty early stages.
And we've seen plenty of precedent for this before. There's that one like chick on Cameo. I think it must be Cameo. That had like she's done a lot of just like quick videos for like DeFi food coins. I think was a popular one, and like she was actually really clever. She's brunette, and she would video record herself talking, and then also put on a blonde wig, and then stand just to the right of where her previous self was, and then she would splice those together. So it was like two hot girls talking about this one DeFi protocol and about how it's going to the moon. And like some of these videos, they got super viral on Twitter because they were the first time that somebody ever tried to do something like this. But you could totally see like TikTok videos just having like ton of traction here. And like if they were branded, like watermarked from like, Clipto Twitter, Clipto created video clip, you could totally see this like really taking off. Absolutely.
And on that, I think that what's interesting here also, that Cameo doesn't necessarily enable is the ability to make multiple characters, like if you wanted to, like if and be like anonymous people. So if you have an anon, right, who doesn't want to show their face, maybe they're okay with their voice, you could definitely see tons of VTubers wanting to use this type of platform, right? It's just another way for them to monetize their streams and stuff like that. And I'm sure people will love to support them with whatever they're doing, right? So I think that avenue of having and you can have multiple characters, because if you're anonymous, right, you could be a guy and then you could be a girl, and you could have two different profiles, and like no one would know, and you could, I don't know, it's just it's interesting because it creates a lot of new opportunity also for people that can't necessarily monetize right now. I mean, VTubers aren't super popular. I mean, they're very popular in some sections, and the popular ones are able to monetize, but the smaller ones are not necessarily able to. So even with smaller people, like smaller followings, like this is like a small way that they could start to build up some cash flow and build their brand. And
there's a ton of alignment I'm seeing behind CRE8R DAO and Clipto, where like you could just see CRE8R DAO was like one of the lead just creators for Clipto. If they can prove to the world that they can actually produce the best stuff, you could totally see them as being like as your two projects having alignment, and one using the other to bootstrap itself.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the girl, I think her name is Sarah Hartman. She's the musician that I mentioned a couple times. Like, for example, it doesn't have to be video. I mean, it could be a commission of anything. So if someone wanted like, I want to commission a 30-second jingle, they could use the platform for that. We have another guy, I think his name is Frederick. I might be misremembering, but he's the guy. He's the animator from Netflix I mentioned. He was like, I could offer a service where I'll animate your PFP, right? Mm-hmm. So it kind of becomes like a marketplace for any type of content. The reason I went with the Cameo idea is because people were requesting me for video, so I was like, this is an obvious parallel, but it could be much broader than that.
Totally. And so there's like a growing ecosystem I'm seeing coming out of you, where you have these quick 1 minute like hit clips on crypto Twitter about some crypto Twitter meme, and then you also have this Web3-ish content creator like bounty network, and then also you have CRE8R DAO. Is this, maybe there's not some sort of intentional goal, but if this could turn into some sort of like interesting little empire of content creation in Web3, what do you think the long-term conclusion of all these things is, or what do you hope that it is?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I have these things. I mean, like, right. I definitely, like for Clipto, like I definitely had the vision for it, but the devs do all the work. Like if there's no devs, there's no app. Mm-hmm. That's just it. And also like, me as an individual, any person, any founder, I don't think that you as a person can carry a project on your shoulders. You really need to tap into some sort of energy that already exists. Right? You can't. If I'm the only one passionate about this project, right, it's not going to happen. Right? So I have to make sure that there's other people that are invested, with their energy and with their time. But as far as your question, I think that a lot of the things that I try to create are things that I would use, and I didn't mention this, but I hired, when I was doing my recordings, I hired CRE8R to do my whole editing. They would edit, upload, create thumbnail, description, timestamps, everything. And I actually, like, I was working with Fugu and Lem previously to CRE8R, just like on my own stuff. Like I would just send them the video, they would take care of it. And so kind of I onboarded them to CRE8R and did it within the CRE8R framework because it is something that I needed. And it is something that like every single podcast, and I think we have another podcast, Matterhorn does one, and they do the same thing for him. And every single podcaster, every single person that wants to create a podcast, they can use that service, and it takes away so much of the friction of from producing. Right, editing for me is a drag. It really sucks. It's boring. It takes a lot of time, And being able to do less editing is good for me, right? And that's why 1-minute videos for me are perfect, because I don't edit those. That's just one off. We just do it, upload, and I'm done, right? So this is a long way of saying, yes, I build stuff. I try to create stuff that are helpful to me and that are helpful to other creators, and that empower creators to, create more stuff, interact with their audience, and like earn within crypto.
So for your quick Twitter 1-minute videos, are you doing that multiple times until you get it right, or do you just hit record and whatever comes out, and then you hit send?
Sometimes I will do it multiple times, but the best is just to do one take and send. The first take is usually going to be the best take. The best, if I'm able to tap into this of going into a video and I don't even know what I'm going to say in the video, that is going to be the best type of video. It is very hard to get to that kind of like state of just having the idea, like, this is what I want to comment on, and these are like maybe 3 or 4 words that I want to say. But those are the best type of video, because you're not inhibited by any type of story, and you're really in the moment, and you're really feeling it, you're really channeling it.
And I would imagine that like you don't have your next like video planned. It has to be pretty like spur of the moment, just like whatever's going on crypto Twitter that day.
Yeah. Usually I usually react to, I'm scrolling on Twitter and I'm reacting to something that's, has happened, whether it's an airdrop or Kobe changing their name, or, whatever it is that is going on, today.
Yeah. So you when you wake up in the morning, you could be or could not be making a video. You have no idea.
While I'm waking up, I'm probably not making a video.
Well, no. As in like do you, if you know that you're going to be making a video that day?
Oh, that day. I make a video every day.
Oh, really?
I think so. I mean,
one of these Twitter funny comedy meme videos?
I make a lot of videos. Like I don't think I've missed a day in a while, but I might have, but I make a lot of videos.
You should, do you know the song A Day Man?
Yeah, I know the song A Day Man. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, it's definitely hard to commit to doing one per day, but like he's gotten a ton of traction on just like being consistent with that. Have you ever thought about doing something like that?
Well, that dude he has a Guinness Book of World Records.
He's on like 10,000 days.
He's like really legit, and I really respect him for that. Actually, I minted some songs. He just did a sale, NFT sale, and I really respect that. And I really respect that consistency, and I think that's something that I definitely strive for. And actually, I don't know if. I don't know if like when I started doing the interviews last year and creating content last year, I actually had a goal for myself to try and publish every single day. What ended up on YouTube, what ended up happening was that I think I created 150. So basically it was like every other day. And this was like, for me, it's very, very impressive, because these videos are much different than, like, YouTube takes a lot more time, and it takes a lot more time to upload, it takes a lot more time to edit, it takes a lot more time for description and stuff like that, which you well know, I'm sure. But yeah, I mean, I make a lot of videos. Let's just say that.
What else in the crypto space do you pay attention to, or do you really care about?
What else do I pay attention to? I'm in a group called Country Capital. We're a group of guys. I think we're 12 or so people. We got together also maybe like 6 months ago. We do like a lot of like investment in early stage stuff, like seed round, private round type stuff. So any new opportunities on that front, I'm always interested in. Like one thing that we got into was Paragon DAO, which is, have you heard of that?
I have not, no.
It's so basically, Parallel, the card game. You don't know the Parallel card game?
No.
David, come on! What the?
Apparently, I don't know a lot of things and people and stuff. Yeah.
The NFT card game. How have you not seen this? Okay.
No.
Basically, they created like it's an NFT card game. It's like a Magic the Gathering, Hearthstone type of game.
I know Gods Unchained.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I was saying before. There's the old memes and then there's the fresh memes, right? So we are all like the fresh memes over here, okay? So yeah, I mean it's kind of like Gods Unchained. Yeah. But anyway, one of the reason I got excited about Parallel is I love Magic the Gathering. I play a lot, and one of the founders over there is Merchant, who is a streamer. He played a lot of Magic the Gathering, also Hearthstone and stuff like that. And I really I respected him and watched his content before. And he's part of the game design team over there. So and they have a great community. But basically, anyway, Paragon DAO is a DAO that is going to be built on top of this game, and it's cool. I mean, it's exciting. I think that especially the intersection of gaming and crypto is a space that I really like because I played a lot of games growing up, and this is the type of stuff that really excites me.
So this is like a YGG for Axie Infinity, but instead it's built on Parallel?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
So Gabriel, we've talked about a number of organizations or projects that you're involved with. If people want to learn more about them, where should they go?
Well, in my bio, I have a link to Clipto, creator, and country. If you want to find out about any of those, the main way to get in touch with me is via Twitter. You could just send me a DM. I try to respond to everyone. But yeah, that's the best place to get in touch.
Can we expect another funny video about Bankless in the future?
Listen up, David. You don't tell me what to do.
I'm just asking. I'm just asking if I can.
It's gotta be inspired. It's gotta be inspired, right? I gotta have that spark. I gotta tap into that energy. So potentially. Why? Let me ask you a question. Sure. Why did Ryan say that the guy had to put up $250K in order to? What was that?
Yeah. Okay. So first off, that was a group decision. So him and I both discussed that before the tweet went out. Okay. And there is precedent for this. We've had Udi Wertheimer on the show twice. Because CMS Holdings committed to sending $250,000 one time and then another $100,000 another time to charity to Gitcoin to host Udi on the show, and so that was the history to that. That's why the idea even came about. And then from my perspective, when I woke up to a friend of mine sending Danny's tweet to me in the morning saying, What a dick, I think was what he said about Danny's comment under the thing that started off the whole thing, where I just tweeted out that MKR was undervalued. I think that MKR is just a bullied token. It's just like undervalued. And then Danny comes in and says that thing where he says like, oh, that's why you haven't invited us on your DeFi show. It's because you're a bunch of suits who support like, boomer tokens basically. And so like, I didn't appreciate that. I don't enjoy being called like some VC suit person from this guy that I do not know. From my perspective, like somebody just like walked up to me in the middle of a crowd and was like, yo, why the F haven't I been on your podcast yet? And then walked away. So like, I didn't appreciate that at all. And again, I don't know who this guy is. And so like, we're not just going to like in Bankless, we're not just going to like bend the knee to like this frog army who's bullying us on Twitter to allow Danny to just come onto the show after he was mean to us. So we wanted an apology. And so we wanted him to actually prove that he actually wanted to be on the show for like actually wanted to put skin in the game. And so that's where that came from. He's like, well, if he wants to be on the show, we'll see how badly he actually wants to be on the show. He can come on the show if he donates to public goods. So that was the impetus behind that. In hindsight, that was a mistake. In hindsight, that was a bad move. Not only was the $250,000 like number just way too high, but also it was just not the right way to like ask for an apology. So that was the story behind that.
All right. Okay. Well, yeah. Well, if you think it was a mistake, then that's okay. I mean, I think the context of Udi, donating $250K for Udi to come on versus this is much different, and
yes.
Anyway, So I was just, it's okay. It is what it is. I think that you cleared it up. Mm-hmm. I don't think that there is any reason to be upset or...
No, I'm not.
No, not you. I mean, even Dan, no one. Like, I think it's fine. Like, it's just like, it is what it is. You don't have to be friends, or you can be.
I have a for the record, I have a Calendly link in DMs with Danny for him to click on it and get some time with me because he said he wanted to chat. I don't think he's clicked on it yet. So that's where that has left off.
All right, you're calling him out, Danny.
I'm not calling him out.
The ball's in your court.
I'm not. Yeah, the ball is in his court. The ball is in his court. This is true. Well, Gabriel, thanks for coming on and chuckling with me. I appreciate this.
I appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time.
Cheers. Bye. Hey, we hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, head over to Bankless HQ right now to develop your crypto investing skills and learn how to free yourself from banks and gain your financial independence. We recommend joining our daily newsletter, podcast, and community as a Bankless Premium subscriber to get the most out of your Bankless experience. You'll get access to our market analysis, our alpha leaks, and exclusive content, and even the Bankless token for airdrops, raffles, and unlocks. If you're interested in crypto, the Bankless community is where you want to be. Click the link in the description to become a Bankless Premium subscriber today. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel for in-depth interviews with industry leaders, Ask Me Anythings, and weekly roll-ups where we summarize the week in crypto and other fantastic content. Thanks everyone for watching and being on the journey as we build out the Bankless Nation.